Hola, ¿podemos bucear?
I'm feeling excited, I'm feeling a little nervous, mostly excited.
Isla del Coco sits nearly 500 kilometers off the coast of Costa Rica. It has been a source of inspiration for books from Treasure Island to Jurassic Park.
What are you doing now?
Setting our lives away.
It is the world's largest uninhabited island. Uninhabited, that is, by humans.
How many hats do you have, Jim?
I brought 5.
Beneath its waters, the island is home to a diverse marine ecosystem: coral, fish, rays, and its most famous inhabitant, sharks. It is a dream destination for those seeking adventure.
Well, there's no turning back now. We'll have to dock.
Come along with us on our 11-day journey aboard the Undersea Hunter as we explore waters of Isla del Coco. Getting to the island is an adventure in itself. The crossing takes 36 hours. The ship leaves port in the late afternoon and will not arrive at the island until the very early morning hours, 2 calendar days later. Along the way, the boat is visited and trailed by a variety of seafaring birds, and the divers have ample downtime to relax in the sun, read books, and make new friends, and test their sea legs. This crossing occurred about a week after a large hurricane had upset the water of the Pacific about 1,000 kilometers north of us. Despite the distance of the storm, our voyage was nautical. Upon arrival, there is no time wasted. Divers have a briefing from island rangers about the history of the island and the unique rules in place to preserve it. There is a dive master briefing, and then the divers start the first of 20 dives of the week.
Not gonna lie, super nervous. I just thrown up. But I'm also excited. Here we go.
The first dive is to a relatively shallow 20 meters. Coral, fish, and abundant sea life make clear this is no ordinary dive. But that's not why you journeyed this long distance. Almost before you have time to take in the wonder of this place, the stars of the show arrive. Quite quickly, the divers fall into a routine. Meals in the galley.
Alright, blue team, briefing time.
Then back on deck for a dive briefing. And repeat. Three times a day. To get to these locations, divers make a negative backroll entry into the water, somersaulting backwards over the side of the boat, and then immediately swimming straight down without resurfacing to avoid being swept away by the strong currents. The primary dive sites around the island are based around cleaning stations, where small yellow and black barberfish will nip parasites off of the sharks. Dives are made to a depth of 80 to 95 feet, where each diver must look for a rock formation to hold on to.
But you can use your gloves for hold the rock.
Gloves are a necessity. The rocks are covered in barnacles and quite sharp. They will slice through a finger like a kitchen knife. They are also home to many tiny crustaceans. These small animals take offense at you using their home as a handle, and will nip at your fingers in a not-so-polite method of asking you to move. There are, of course, larger animals as well, like sea urchins. When looking for a place to anchor themselves for the dive, one must choose carefully. Once situated, the divers simply wait, and very soon, the sharks arrive.
beautiful morning. We're gonna have some amazing dives.
You never know what type of shark you will see on a dive, but you will see sharks. Silver-tip sharks, reef sharks, rays, a relative of sharks, sleeping sharks, you may even see sharks who are in love. It is less common to see a turtle at Cocos than a whale shark. Turtles are a favourite food of sharks, so they are not seen very frequently.
The dives were good, but I would say the best part of the day was getting to see a tour of the island. So we got to see one really far on our first dive, and it looks like Jurassic Park. It's beautiful, and there's waterfalls and caves and palm trees and trees growing on rocks.
The roughly 24 square kilometre island has been designated a Costa Rican national park since 1978 and remains uninhabited except for park rangers. The island's dramatic landscape features towering cliffs rising directly from the rocky coast, numerous waterfalls, and receives an incredible 7.6 metres of rainfall annually, creating a lush, untouched rainforest environment. The island was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997. Divers have one opportunity to go ashore and see the island. Unfortunately, that day for the group did not present the best weather. Staffed by rangers and volunteers who stay on the island from a week to several months.
Cool. We're on the last island.
The positions are highly competitive, and it is a great honour to be selected to work on the island. They have satellite communication, areas for recreation, dormitories, and communal space. They grow their own vegetables and compost their waste. Over the years, the rangers have constructed this bridge, El Copi. It is made entirely of discarded lines and plastic waste that have been found on and around the island. Scientists are not entirely sure what makes Isla del Coco such a popular destination for the hammerhead sharks. Whether it is for food, for mating, part of a migration pattern guided by magnetic fields in the undersea mountain range, it is not totally clear. No matter the reason the hammerheads come to Cocos, the reason the divers come to Cocos is the hammerheads.
And this is the most important part of the day. We have a couple of Imperials, and we go out on the sun deck, and we log our dives and record everything that we saw. Let's go. Here we are on the sun deck. We're going to sit down, log our dives.
The typical dive is 60 minutes in duration. With about 15 minutes to go, the dive masters lead the group into the blue, swimming away from the rock formation and out into the open ocean. This procedure is done to allow the panga to approach closely enough to not hit the rocks, but also to see some of the most spectacular wildlife of the dive. Quickly one loses sight of the bottom. It is disorienting and requires the diver to monitor their gauges to maintain proper depth and begin ascending to the safety stop at a depth of 5 meters. Here the group gets approached by a juvenile silky shark. It's testing its skills stalking prey in a bait ball. It eventually decides not to bite more than it can chew. the fun of any vacation, is the friends you meet along the way.
Apague, vámonos.
No hay buceo, no hay nocturno, no hay nada. Oiga, no hay buceo,
Some days of diving aren't in the brochure.
Dive number 2. Dive number 1 was pretty harrowing. It was much more of a washing machine cycle than it was a dive. We survived being pummeled into the rocks, and no one put their hand on the sea urchin, which seems that many people have done. But we're all back here in one piece. Most of the crew looks a little shaken, and we're going to go out for one more dive.
Chilly day in Costa Rica.
And then there are some days when you get the perfect dive.
we doing?
Packing.
How do you feel about packing?
2 thumbs down. Your trip was 2 thumbs up. We're in Scuba Road. Very good. We ran. Beautiful morning at sea. How are we feeling?
Good. I think we're gonna have a really nice cruise back to port.
Our tender. This is Punta Arenas.
Packing out. You ready to leave?
No. Thank you, Sea Hunter. It was the best vacation ever.
¡Pura vida!